historically, we are the debris, forgotten faces, never more to be. Instead of legends fighting for something that had no guarantees, living ghosts, we chose to live and die as their worker bees. Why didn't we break out from their hide? Why didn't we follow our own sun to another life? Why didn't we scroll over all their flowers? Brothers and sisters, it's okay to be free. Brothers and sisters, it's time to be
Yeah.
Those who run the world, you know. Yes. Yeah. We both within the bounds.
Hi Wakies, this is number 2 on the Conspiracy Show, and this is elite gender conversion. Inversion. Theory. So let's go on with Professor Lyons. What is elite gender inversion theory?
Well, Michael, I should probably, I'll take people through my awakening.
Actually, before we go there, we might. One thing that we are going to mention is that most of the people you've grown up who you've seen as famous, you've been idolising, are actually trans. So we're going to explain that soon. That's everyone from Marilyn Monroe to Elvis to John Wayne. Buckle up. Here we go.
Well, you've stolen the thunder, Michael.
I just hooked them in.
You've encapsulated the whole thing.
They want to know now, how could that possibly
yes,
be?
You put it into a rather brilliant summary there, the whole thing. And I sympathise with people out there thinking we're nutters, probably talking about this, because that's where I was in, I think, the beginning of 2021. and I was introduced to this phenomenon, and it's truly a bizarre phenomenon, and it took me 3 months to get my head around it.
3 months.
3 months. So I don't expect the people watching us here to, most will probably not even want to investigate it further.
I think they're still cleaning the coffee off their screen from when I said John Wayne was as trans. Anyway,
Yes,
so
yeah.
they're probably still dealing with that.
I was just going to stick to MTFs. There's a bit of terminology to go through here.
Okay, what's an MTF?
An MTF is a male to female transgender.
Okay. Yep.
An FTM is a female to male. So a female to male was born as a girl, ends up being converted into a male, and vice versa.
Yep.
With MTFs.
Get that?
And
Are you following?
yes, I was introduced to it by a person who's contacted me over the COVID battle that we were involved in, and liked what I was doing on the internet, and he, I think, wished to educate me in some of these other strange things, so I would know more about how the world was run. And
Theoretically.
yes, that's right. It keep your scepticism there, people. Don't believe everything I say. But it took me 3 months to get my head around, and I went through a process of. This is largely to do with Hollywood and what's presented to us from Hollywood, because this person, Chris, he worked in Hollywood for probably 25 years, and one of his friends is one of the key transvestigators out there. Transvestigator, that's a new term for
Transvestigators.
Transvestigator, Mr. E, he's called. Big M, little r, big E, Mr. E, mystery. And he really knows his stuff. But there are a number of them out there, he's not the only one. And I would repeatedly send emails to this Chris and Mr. E when he was introduced to me, saying, oh, look, surely so-and-so isn't trans, you know, and might have been Faye Dunaway, Vivian Lee, Ingrid Bergman.
No.
This goes back a long way. In fact, when did Hollywood kick off? 1920s? Mm-hmm. They were doing it then.
Wow.
Doing it then. And it went on among the so-called elites. I don't call them elites, the people who run the world. I think they don't deserve such a title. They have been doing it for thousands of years.
Oh.
That's the thing, and we're just seeing the modern manifestation of it through Hollywood, the rest of the entertainment industry, but not just that, high-end politics, a lot of, look, I'll try and stick just to females. I think it's or supposed females. It's probably a little bit easier to get your head around than the other ones who ended up as supposed males.
Yeah.
So high-end politics, sports, which is a version of entertainment, basically. It's, you know, bread and circuses to keep us occupied while they do stuff behind the scenes to further control us. It's been going on for a long time.
See, like not Michael Jordan or...
Michael Jordan, look, I haven't studied him. I must ask Mr. E about Michael Jordan.
So what is the purpose behind presenting all these people as women when they're men and men when they're women? Why would they bother to all the effort of changing Marion Michael into John Wayne if he was a woman to a man?
His original name was Marion.
Michael Marion, yeah.
Might give you a bit of a hint there. And often they will, I don't know whether it's to take the piss out of us even more, put the name of, say, Bullock in there. Sandra Bullock. She's a well-known one. But, you know, getting
So
back...
Sandra Bullock is trans, you
Yeah,
think?
yeah. But getting back to, yes, you... what was
So the purpose behind it, what's their
the purpose? I think it's multifactorial in terms of a purpose. Probably the main one is that these people who control the world go all the way back to Babylon, Sumer, well before Jesus was around, and they worshipped satanic gods, a whole range of them. A number of them were transgender gods. Baphomet, you know the story with Baphomet?
No.
Well, he's like a goat figure, and he's got breasts, and he's often pointing to above, saying, as above, so below, hands like this, Baphomet.
I think I have
Yeah,
seen
he's sort of a
somewhere, yeah.
satanic god. And other ones, like Ishtar is another one. Ishtar, there's various names for them. Isis, Columbia. Statue of Liberty is one of these Satanists' transgenic
So you're
gods.
saying you're saying under the concrete roads of Statue of Liberty,
Yes.
is a schlong.
Yes, as I said, it takes a bit of getting your head around. Even Michael, who knows a hell of a lot, is probably sceptical of this. So
Little.
don't be worried, folks. But yes,
We're already talking about what the theory is. The theory is that all these people from Marilyn Monroe down to the Statue of Liberty are trans. But I still don't understand why. What are they trying to
yes,
achieve?
well, the main reason is it's part of their worship, and they want to bring all the rest of us along with this worship of satanic gods. They don't want us worshipping any other gods, or not any god
So
at
you
all.
have to be a trans to follow their god? You have to...
No, a number of those in control haven't gone down this pathway, but it's part of their whole structure. Like if you're born into one of these satanic families, not only will there be satanic ritual abuse practiced upon you when you're very young, which is terrific. These are evil people, but they seem to have a link with demons out there controlled by Satan and what have you. Takes some getting your head around, and one means of worship is to they're asked or requested or demanded to sacrifice members of their family. Might be the firstborn son, he ends up being killed, and they'll probably drink his blood, or they send probably more than one on this journey of transgenderism, so they'll mutilate them, often when they're very young, and but they can become a celebrity. That's the trade-off. They can become famous. So when you look at, it takes me back to when I was sceptical about this. I would send emails to Chris and Mr. E saying, hang on, Faye Dunaway's not a tranny. I've just watched Bonnie and Clyde or The Eyes of Laura Mars. She couldn't be a tranny. And they'd send back a short video with showing certain features that indicated that she was. And then I did this repeatedly. In fact, they started off on supermodels because they're a bit easier to pick because they're usually very tall and much taller than most women achieve, and the long limbs and what have you. And they work on proportions of limbs, hips, of course, hips to shoulders, size of head, and you'll often find they have plenty of big hair to sort of disguise the size of their skull, and brow ridges, digital ratio. There. Oh, luckily I pass. I think, Michael, do you pass?
Digital
Yes,
ratio.
digital ratio. Most men, but it's not hard and fast, will have this finger longer than that finger.
Oh, okay.
So ring finger in most men is longer than the index finger.
Yeah.
And so when a lot of these women put their hands up to wave or make a satanic signal, I'm looking there to see what the digital ratio is. It's not a hard and fast rule like almost any of this stuff. It's all done on the bell curve, the normal distribution. You'll get a range of things, but we talk about the median or the mean. And
so when you looked at my hands, then you could tell I wasn't trans by my hands.
yes,
So you don't have to impress me.
I was sceptical, lady. I wasn't sure. I was equivocal.
Is the hair gives it away?
There's no way Michael's trans, but the
Not that that's a problem.
No. It's a fascinating subject to me because it took my head a while to get around it, and look, I hesitate to mention this one because if Stuart Lindsay gets to watch this, he's going to be.
G'day, Stuart. How you doing?
You there, Stuart? You're going to be mightily pissed off because this is if I want to rile Stuart, who was a former federal court judge, and when I got into trouble with the law, he represented me and did a good job. We've had a minor falling out, but and if I come across him and I want to rile him, I will raise this, which is I saw someone had a list of suspect people in Hollywood, males and females, who they thought probably were EGIs, elite gender inversions, and Julie Christie was on the list. And I wasn't at all happy with this because in my teenage years I had a nice head shot of her from Dr. Zhivago in the corner of my bedroom for years.
That blonde woman. Beautiful.
She was my perfect woman.
She's trans.
Well, you know, and far from the madding crowd. And she got an Academy Award, and they do say that any actress who wins an Academy Award is always trans, always. But all the rest of them are as well, that's the problem. And I sent an email, an urgent email to Chris and Mr. E, saying, come on, you're not telling me that Julie Christie is a tranny. And they immediately sent back a couple of short videos, and one showed she had an Adam's apple when she accepted her Academy Award for, I think it was for Darling, not for one of those other films I mentioned. But look, I still love the appearance that she presented on these films, just gorgeous, far from the madding crowd. And Dr. Zhivago. And but at any rate, I mentioned this to Stuart, Michael.
Okay.
And he wasn't at all pleased. In fact, he said...
So he's very fond of her, was he?
Oh, as fond of her as I was.
Yeah.
And in fact, the funny thing was, the cleaning out this... I live in a cottage up on the farm here, and we moved here, we moved to town back in 1997 from a bigger farm house that we had up the road, and stored a lot of stuff. Some of it I'd had in the storeroom that had been bowled, ended up in the storeroom here, next to the little room you've just seen. I finally got to cleaning out this room here because we sold the house we had in Adelaide last year, and I moved up here and cleaned out this room to make more room around here for me. And I rediscovered this large piece of masonite with the picture of Julie Christie on it.
Oh, wow.
And the silverfish hadn't got into it, so it was intact, looking as good as it always did, and had this beautiful pouty lips, the big hair, and what Mr. E and other transvestigators call the male gaze that women don't have. And
she said she has, so in the photo she's got the male gaze.
Yes, in this gorgeous
You don't think
picture.
she just has maybe a few masculine features and is just...
No, I wish it was only that, Michael. And Stuart is still convinced that she is a gorgeous looking woman. But I know this is bizarre stuff, and but the people out there, if they wish to look into this further, there is stuff on the internet about it, and Mr. E is one of the best of them, and he does it with a sense of humour, you know, and he's an American academic, and another one who I discovered just this morning, doing a bit of homework, because I knew we were going to be discussing this, is called Dylan Peterson, Peterson.
He's a lovely young man.
Do you know Dylan Peterson?
Is that one of the guys who turned up here? Is that someone else? No. I'm lost here now, sorry.
Dylan Peterson hasn't turned up here, but if he does, I'll be extracting a lot of knowledge from him.
Okay, no, I'm mistaken.
He did, if you're interested, people out there looking at this, I can tell you what to put in your search engine.
Okay. Dylan Peterson.
Dylan Peterson is his name, Peterson, and he's got a presentation there, among others, called Illuminati.
Transgenders.
Illuminati transgenders are everywhere. And the everywhere is put in uppercase and in brackets, harder to accept than flat earth, with a question mark.
Wow.
Harder to accept than flat earth. So it's a difficult one for people to get their head around because it's so bizarre.
Yeah.
And as you say, why would they do it? Part of it, as I explained, is their worship of these satanic gods. also, part of it is to continue the massive deception which they love perpetrating on us lesser humanity. They despise us, these elites that run the world, and they love deceiving us. And this is what Hollywood has been all about. And Hollywood's been linked to the CIA pretty well. Well, no, Hollywood began before the CIA came in America, but ever since then they've been inextricably linked. And it's about deception and control of the human cattle, the masses, who they despise. And in the last few years, they've been trying to kill us off with vaxxers and what have you. So that's what they think of you and I, folk. So I like to study them. I like to get around their mindset, because you need to know your enemy.
Yeah.
You can't just think you know your enemy, you need to know them. So that's what I've been looking at. It's an important pillar of the so-called matrix, the system of control, that most people, well, all of us are born into it. Most people live their lives without realising they're in this prison.
Without realising John Wayne's a woman.
That's or
Without realising the Statue of Liberty's a man.
Or Raquel Welch began
No!
life. Yes, Raquel. Well, you're at the stage I was at 3 years ago, Michael. I'd send to Chris an email. You're telling me Raquel Welch?
I've entertained myself with that woman. Oh
Yes,
my God.
I'll bet you have. Or Elle Macpherson.
No!
I said, hang on, she's a fellow Aussie. And she used to hang out with the great anti-vaxxer, who lives in America.
So these trans investigators, is that what you call them?
Yeah, transvestigators. Yeah.
Transvestigators believe that Elle Macpherson is
Yes, I think
born a
someone
man.
would. Mr. E does. And they look at length of feet, length of arms, all this sort of thing.
Everything's long on her. She's enormous.
Yes, yeah. And you look at some of the high-level political figures now. Virtually all supermodels will be in this category. And
Winston Churchill.
yeah, I'm not sure about Churchill. Oh, you're jumping to high-end political figures now.
Yeah, you brought up political figures.
Yes, no, a number of, or particularly female ones that we see now. A couple of those leaders of the European Union, they apparently are. But these are all members of the so-called ruling class of humanity, and they're evil people, basically. That look, they would love to eliminate the rest of us and steal all our current assets, and or if they can't eliminate us, weaken and sicken us, through putting toxins in our water, our foods, injecting them into people, perhaps, shall we say, not smart enough to know what vaccination is really about. It's not there to help you. And in fact, I made a note here. This were a couple of things this Dylan Peterson said when I looked it up this morning. He said, this whole deception is an important pillar of the matrix, the system of control. And he says it may be an old adage, but the truth really does set you free. So the more you can know about this matrix of control and the deception to which we've been subjected, the freer you can be. And the truth will set you free if you can overcome these things. And I've discussed digital ratio, head to shoulder ratio, that's another one. These people perpetrating this, you can categorise them in various ways. Some of us would say Illuminati, but it goes back more than a few hundred years ago, which is when the Illuminati supposedly began. It goes back to ancient Babylon and Sumer, so we can be talking nearly 10,000 years. And they've been controlling humanity in one way or another, or in one guise or another. For a fair while it was as the Roman Empire, and there are remnants of that in terms of religion, which are still very much with us at their inner core, not necessarily the outer core. Freemasonry is very much a part of it, and Satanists, inner core of the Jesuits, I'm afraid. They're masters of psychology. They know how to get into the heads of lesser humans to manipulate us. And this is how they pulled off the COVID coup several years ago. It's ongoing, as you know. You're coming across people who talk about people who've been killed by the vax and sickened by it, and they think it was a virus that did it to them, or they've got long COVID, which is still attacking them. It's usually the vax. And this was perpetrated by these same people who have deceived the populace through this EGI and numerous other things. This is just one of the things they do, but I like studying it because it's so bizarre. I like a bit of the bizarre. Makes life bloody interesting, I can tell you. Even though I may turn off people by bringing it up, I can't help myself. As I said to you, Michael, before we started this, I'll probably piss a few people off, but we're so far down the track of these elites,
so far down the rabbit hole.
Oh, down the rabbit hole, yes.
Eventually we've got to find a rabbit.
Yes, that's right. Well, they might find the white rabbit down there.
Yeah, or maybe the rabbit looks like Klaus, I don't know.
Yes, I like the white rabbit, Nicola Charles.
Yeah.
And I'm bloody sure she's not a tranny, Michael.
Well, I've met her in person. She didn't give off tranny vibes.
No, she's genuine. And you know, people say, oh no, so and so had children. We saw her pregnant. Like who's one of the actresses with dark hair, reasonably short? She went through a well-publicised pregnancy about 5 years ago. They had pictures of her naked and pregnant with a massive belly.
Wow. Not Demi Moore.
Yeah, Demi Moore. Yeah.
Demi Moore's trans.
Yeah, they all are. I've become...
How about Bruce Willis?
Yeah, prone. That's why he'd be suffering health problems now.
Because he's born a woman.
Yeah, probably. As they age, a lot of them encounter real problems, and they have, because they've been taking hormones to keep this appearance, as well as having a lot of surgery, and they can shave an Adam's apple so it looks like you've never had one. They can get rid of brow ridges. They can give, if they wanted to make a man out of a woman, they'll give them a firmer jawline, you know, and vice versa. They can shave bone off the jaw, take ribs out. Marilyn Monroe, I think, had a couple of ribs taken out. Jane Mansfield certainly did. It does send you down a certain rabbit hole, but you've got to keep it in context of those who run the world and how they go about it and inflict deception upon humanity. This has gone on longer than we were planning, Michael.
That's right. Basically, all your idols are transgender.
Well, that's right. In fact, this Dylan...
That's according to the theory.
Yes, Dylan Peterson stated this on this one I recommend to you. Illuminati transgenders are everywhere, harder to accept than flat earth. It's worth looking up. It's a good introductory, reasonably short video, perhaps 12 minutes, on this whole subject. You don't want to plunge into some of the heavy transvestigations of, say, any of these individuals.
Anything like a transvestigation, I hate to say it, but it's like Paul Hogan in that film, just having a feel. You know what I mean? Seriously.
Yeah,
you know,
that's right.
It's not like you need a Royal Commission.
No. Well, some of them keep...
Just a look.
The bits and pieces are still there. Some, they were removed when they were very young. And some a bit later.
Yeah.
You know, it's horrific stuff. But the...
Unless you're into it.
Well, even... I don't think those who... If it happened to them very young, did they have any... They had no say in the matter.
Don't know.
But the trade-off is a number of them have become very famous. They're great celebrities. But as this Dylan Peterson says, he was astonished himself at the sheer scale and scope of the transgender agenda. And he said these people who've been made into film stars and celebrities, put in front of our eyes, in front of the camera. It's all about camera angles. They often stand with the hand on the hip, the legs will be crossed over. They are taught how to speak, how to stand, how to walk, to make it look as if they are the opposite gender to what they began. And he finishes with saying, these people are false idols.
False idols.
There you are.
There you go.
put in front of us to confuse us, demoralise us, make us worship them almost, and
Yeah.
they'll have them appearing in front of the camera and end up on the big screen of Hollywood as more female and more male than the real ones out there. This is how they've done it. It's astonishing. To me, it's one of the things that is worthy of study.
Yep.
I won't just sweep it under the carpet thinking, oh, if Dr. Lyons is talking about this stuff, probably means he's wrong about vaxxers and other stuff as well. I couldn't give a damn. We're that far down the road to some apocalyptic happening that I wish to speak the truth of whatever I'm looking into, and this is one of the more interesting ones.
Yeah.
So there you are.
Well, that's it, Wakies. That's, what did we call it? Gender...
Elite gender inversion.
elite gender inversion. Basically, everyone you've ever looked up to was in the wrong...
Yep, and famous
trans.
singers, often, particularly female ones. Look, Taylor Swift's a classic example, and the way they pulled it off, she filled three...
That's probably the wrong terminology.
Yeah, didn't she fill 3 MCGs in a row?
Yes.
I mean, that is popularity.
She's very popular.
There you are, they've succeeded. They've
There you
put
go.
one of these people in front of...
So you're literally saying if you want to be super famous,
Well,
the starting line
you
is...
probably need to be born into a Satanist family to begin with.
That helps.
So, I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
Maybe you can
people.
get adopted. Look around, see if there's any Satanists looking to adopt, So, yeah.
Yes, I wouldn't wish it on anyone. But these are those who run the world. Yeah.
There you go.
When I met Jesus Christ, he was almost 10 years old, and he was helping his mother push a trolley full of all they owned. And because they couldn't find an inn they could get in, they were heading to the city and leaving Bethlehem. Couldn't you perform a miracle? I'm out of them, he said. I tried turning nothing into warmth, but it just made my mother cry. It just made my mother cry. Mary Magdalene has become a man, and tonight he's old, and she has been riding my tram. Now it's late and she's trying to sleep beneath a poster for a bank. Your dreams are important to us as it bathes her face in gold. Come give us your natural gifts, we make wealth from toil. Come pretend for history's page that we're advancing Australia. Let's pretend that we're all advancing Australia fair. Back down the road I found the church we built on the black man's boat.